Missa inte den 22 maj klockan 17 till 20.00 i Nationalmuseet i Stockholm. Tillsammans med Assyriska riksförbundet bjuder Nationalmuseet in till en torsdagskväll med den nyligen upphängda reliefen från 879 f.Kr. som tema. Kvällen bjuder på föreläsning, samtal, musik, dans med mycket mer. I restaurangen kan du uppleva smaken av det antika Assyriska riket. Välkomna allihopa! Assyriska riksförbundet och Nationalmuseet bjuder till 22 maj klockan 17 till 20.00. Alla är välkomna och du, det är fri entré till allihopa. Välkomna!
Hello, my name is Joseph Pirayou. I want to welcome you to this portion of In the Beginning Ashur program. As always, this is a live program we're doing now. And if you have any questions, any comments you want to send them, if I can answer them, I'll be more than happy. If not, we normally do a Q&A and we get all the questions and comments and respond to them this way. Another thing is that we have live stream. Assyria TV has live stream on Twitter, former Twitter, X, on Facebook, on Rumble, and YouTube. And also you can follow us on Instagram. So today's program, just a review and follow up and adding more information to the previous program that I did on One Nation under Ashur. And just a review was that in the last 100 years, there were a lot of attempts in different ways by individuals like Pirayou Ashur, Ivan Kakovich, Afrem Yaqub. Thank you. Forgot my coffee. Yes. Anyway, so the effort was made by these individuals, as I mentioned, Pirayou Ashur, Ivan Kakovich, Afrem Yaqub. We have the book here, The Path to Assyria. So also we had organizations like Federation, AUA. Federation was established 1933, right after the Simele massacre. So we're looking at a foundation. How many years that would be? Like 90 years, 90 plus years. I can't count. 92. Anyway, they were established. Now, the purpose, either, as I was saying, by these individuals and groups, like AUA's Assyrian Universal Alliance gathering together, that was done in 1960s. And some of the founders, I knew them personally. I know one that passed, Dr. William Pirayou was one of the people involved. I know Mr. Daniel Crispy lives in Sweden now. And they worked, not that it was just established and no work was done. Of course, now the federation that was established back in 1933 after the Simele massacre, we have these what they call national conventions, gatherings, and the theme is like more towards parties and dancing, which is just fine. We need to preserve our culture and everything, but the message that used to be originally where all these gatherings annually were, it doesn't seem to be Well, the thing is that the fruit of all these efforts, you're looking around to see the effort that has been made, the time spent, the money spent, what has come out of all these things. And there are other groups and other individuals, I'm sure they have tried to create something to unite us, creating leadership, uh, forming interim governments, all of these things that we have seen or heard in the past 100 years, right? And right now, of course, we have this gathering that was done in Yerevan, this council that they did voting, they chose some leaders, and based on the information that was shared, which is general information was shared with general audience, that the group that went there, they split. Uh, Decisions, it's just unfortunate. And but what I'm trying to understand here or share the information with you is that no fruits in a way that we can rely on yet. We still wait for this group to see what they did or going to do. But the reason was when I did the last program and I called it One Nation Under Ashur, is that these individuals, these groups, these attempts, these time that is spent getting together, meetings, traveling, uh, everything that is being done. Um, I haven't asked every individual from that group. Of course, some of them are no longer around, but are we trying or are you trying to become like our ancestors back there? What do I mean by that? Like we want to unite together, we want to have government together, we want to have leadership for one Ashur nation. I'm presuming that's the case, right? So when last program I was talking about this, like what is our history? Something that has happened, something that was there, something that built what became the Ashur Empire, the Assyrian Empire, right? How did it all start? But the thing is that if we want to recreate our former glory, are we following what our ancestors followed? If we want to be like them, are we acting like them? Or is it just a name, not the substance? What do I mean? Okay. So when I say if we want to be like our ancestors, recreating Ashur nation of the past, what was the empire founded upon? Now, can we show that photo of this beautiful young lady, Dr. Shayna Zaya? She did a lecture about the religion of Assyria, and she talked about Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, Assyrians, their different gods, names, locations, statues, things like that. One thing that when I was listening, and I don't remember everything, but the part that like stayed with me was Ashur was the top god. Everything was founded on Ashur because that small group that gathered together sometime in the past, could be 4,000 years, 5,000, specifically the time and date is not known. I wish we had a YouTube video somebody had taken from that gathering that they said, you know what, we're going to call ourselves Ashur, because that's what happened. Maybe it was a meeting, or slowly they said, we believe in this deity, in this God. Of course, the name of Ashur, when you look at that lecture and things like that, you see these people believed in this God that is creator. And there are different attributes, different forms of showing what he looked like. But this is what our ancestors started with Ashur, small communities, small gatherings, slowly. Sorry about this noise. Somebody's sending me some text. Apologize for that. Now, before going further with this deity Ashur, we have some. All right, this is getting interesting. Can you hear it over there? That's noise. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, see, they're trying to distract me. No, can't do that. I'm talking about uh, Dr. Shayna Zaya, the PhD, her expertise in the field of Assyrian history, especially during the time of Sanchirib, Sargon, Sarkhaddon, Ashurbanipal. That's what she said, her specialties during that period of time of our empire. But the bottom line is these people, our ancestors, based their foundation on Ashur, that to them was the creator. Now, I don't want to go different path, but we have my some of my beloved Christian Ashuri brothers and sisters that tell me that our ancestors worshipped a man named Ashur. They were idol worshippers. They turned a man into God, and this is blasphemy. This is some other nasty words they use. And I said, "What do you mean? Where do you get your information?" I mean, I can talk about anything, say whatever I feel like, but has to be backed by proof. Where do you get this information that our ancestors built their empire or their faith based on a man? They say, Genesis, book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 22. We have the names of son. We have this guy, Noah, who was in the ark or the ship, and he has three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. One of the sons of Shem is Ashur. Another son is called Aram. So one of the sons is Ashur. So this is the Ashur who founded, who built the Ashur. I mean, he was the one that started the whole thing. I said, one name you see over there, and based on that, you say our empire was based on that. See, please help me. That's one of the reasons I don't go to any of these denominations. They don't teach him anything. What do you mean this Ashur is the founder? Where do you come? Because the name is there. See, these are the headaches, distractions we had. We're trying to just maintain. I mean, this program is specifically is to preserve our identity as a nation, Ashur. It's none of my business what your faith is, if you believe in this or that. I'm trying to say, okay, right now we have all these efforts for the past 100 years at least. Do we have anything to show for? So I go back to see what my ancestors did, how they started, how they became so successful, how they became so great to a point that it's called empire. And it wasn't just an empire. See, let me share a few things with you regarding our ancestors. When Dr. Shana was talking about their foundation on Ashur, their identity became Ashur, their faith is Ashur, everything that was their uh, driving force was Ashur. Excuse me. So I'm going to go through a few photos that our ancestors, with their belief in their creator, everything being done for him, what was it achieved that we are called cradle of the civilization? Example number one. This is a carving on a wall, I believe. Uh, I don't know exactly where it was, but they have carved these in our homeland, former Ashur or today's whatever it's called. You see this guy? He has the, I believe it's a sheep skin and is breathing to it. The original scuba diver. And you see that fish under his leg? They're trying to show that this guy is in water, under the water. Today, can we show what they look like today? Right? There you go. Now they have oxygen tank on their back. Back then, our ancestors, they were creative, man. They just not the what they call it, nomads, in the tents, fighting, killing, bloodthirsty, like what the Mongolians were, Genghis Khan and Timur Lang. That's what these people were. Just conquerors, fight, conquer, destroy. Our ancestors were fighters, but at the same time, inventors. What else do we have? Let's go through these battling rams. They had when I was checking for like inventions by our ancestors, there was invention of iron weapons. This is like a tank. You see the tires underneath. This is like a Sherman tank. They're what they call it, ramming and attacking. This is like at least 3,000 years ago. Can we show the other one that goes with this? We have what else? This is a different kind of battle. This is just to attack the wall or destroy. The other one probably had soldiers inside it that they would be hitting with arrows or spears. The other one of that uh, batch, let's see. This is being attributed to the Mongolians. They said Mongolians, they were the first ones that they would ride a horse and attack with bow and arrow. Well, Mongolians were about what, 12, 1300 years ago. This is at least what, 28, 3,000 years ago. They attribute this to Ashurbanipal because it's the same photo that you see on this book. So they say this is Ashurbanipal. So Ashurbanipal was like 600, 700 years before Jesus. That's 2,700 years ago. They had the 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 knowledge. I mean, attacking with horse and arrows. This is a moving target. It's like a missile. What am I saying here? These achievements by our ancestors, they were all attributed to their faith, everything. What else do we have? We have the next two. Let's just go through them one by one. The technology, the agriculture thing. Where do these come from? These people didn't just sit there. They said, we believe in our God. We have our faith. They just brainstorm whatever they did. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the history. People dedicated to their faith, people dedicated to Ashur. They were able to accomplish this. There is another photo of that canal that they're trying to build now in our Atra, in our nation. This is a new one. They're following the steps of our ancestors to rebuild this canal. These were destroyed by these Mongolians when they came through from Mongolia all the way through Europe. They destroyed all of these canals and irrigation systems that our ancestors had built. So if we are ready to go through the next couple of photos, just keep going. So circle. This is attributed to our ancestors, creation of 360-degree circle. And this, let's show the other photo. You see the wheel, right? For the chariots, for everything. I'm trying to set that these people that we are trying to our ancestors, that they had empire, now for the past 100 years we are trying to do something to recreate whatever you want to call that, to be like them. They have done so much. Our ancestors have done so much through their faith. Let's go to the last two ones. I think we have another couple ones. I lost track of how many photos I shared. These Lamasus, these were the protectors of the cities. Just look how detailed work. There is another one photo of that they found the part of it is broken. You see this guy on the right side kneeling and cleaning it up. Compare his size to the Lamasu. How many people it took to sit there and do this thing? These are the people dedicated their life to their faith, to their name, and that was their identity. That's the point I'm trying to get across. right? Let me see if I have everything here. Sorry about that. So, okay, these are our ancestors. These are their contribution to the world. Cradle of civilization, inventors of irrigation, wheel, mathematics, you name it. Empire is gone. Now we are trying to unite. We're trying to create a free government, free UTRA, free something, unite, this, that. One other thing that Dr. Shana was talking about was that the king was in charge of maintaining the temples. So the relationship of the king wasn't that I'm just going to rule and the priests, whatever they want, like the separation. He was in charge of the temples. Imagine if you have a ruler or a leader now says, all the churches have to be taken care of. I'll make sure of taking care of what is, you know, uh, people say not related, separation of church and state. I will get to that too. But right now, just the point, 100 years, where are we? How are we doing? Are we getting any close to being united? Are we getting any close to have a government? As I said, this new group, best of luck. I'm not talking anything against them. However, history has told us, our ancestors, their faith was their foundation. We have the manifesto of Fredun Aturaya, Ivan Kakovic. Assyria, path to Assyria doesn't give us too much clue in this. Sorry about that again. The thing is that nowhere is mentioning our faith. Okay, then how are you going to be like our ancestors? Right? Does that make sense? Now, uh, somebody I talked to, this is a few years ago. I was sitting in the coffee shop and I was reading my stuff. There was a Bible on the table, and this guy, this younger guy, passed by. He says, "Hi, how you doing? What are you reading?" I said, "It's Bible." He said, "Oh, I'm Jewish." I said, "Nice meeting you." We sat down, we talked for a few minutes, and I said, and this was during the Passover time. And I said, "You celebrate Passover?" He said, "Oh yeah, every year we gather over my parents' house. We get our family. We do the Passover meal. We get the lamb, and we do the things that traditionally are done." I said, and I'm just talking. I said, so during the dinner, do you guys talk about the Moses, the 10 plagues, this sea being parted, Israelites going through the sea, and the Egyptians dying? He said, and it's he started laughing. He said, "It's a joke." He said, what do you mean seas parting and 10 plagues coming to Egypt?" I said, I got confused. I said, "I thought you said you're Jewish." He said, "Yeah, but not like that." You know what I'm saying? It's as if I say, I'm Ashuri, but I don't want to talk about God Ashur. Then how can you be Ashuri? How can you be Assyrian? How can you be Aturaya? Like my ancestors, our ancestors. Does that make sense? I'm not forcing. I'm just looking at what worked, what was successful, what became an empire. There are a lot of our people that they love who they are as Ashuri. They would love to see us unite. They would love to see we have a leadership. That's why we have kept our identity, our language. We have the Western dialect, we have the Eastern dialect. We are mixing Farsi, Arabic, Turkey in our language when we're talking. I don't even know. Actually, I know a person that speaks pure Ashuraya, and I have no idea when he speaks our language what the he's saying. But we have kept. We keep calling our kids Sargon, Ashur, Nineveh, Ishtar, Inanna, right? Why? Why we are maintaining all of these? There is something inside. There's hope. There is hope. There is hope. You know, last program when I finished, I talked about this Jewish rabbi, famous, well known in the whole world. Of course, I'm talking about Jesus. And I know there's some of you who keep messaging me like, "What are you talking about? You talk about Ashur, now you're talking about Jesus." Our ancestors 2000 years ago became Christian, but that's not the point today right now. I just want to read a part that is mentioned about a parable that Jesus shared. You don't have to believe in the book, you don't have to be a Christian or anything, but just wanted to share with you, see if that makes sense. This is called the parable of the sower. Sower is the one that has seeds, uh, plants them, depending on what kind of produce he wants to get out of it. But this is the parable that Jesus is using. So after he said the parable, now he's interpreting the parable. This is for those who want to know where it is. Matthew chapter 13. I'm reading uh, verse 18. Jesus says, "Listen then to what the parable of the sower means. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is the seed sown along the path." Sown is somebody planted. This guy, first one, was planted in the road. The one who received the seed that fell on the rocky places is the man who hears the word and at once receives it with joy. But since he has no root, he lasts only a short time. Does that sound familiar? Like some of these organizations that came along, you know, they hear the, gathering, yeah, Pirayou Ashur, and they receive it with joy. But since he has no root, he lasts only a short time. What's a root? When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, he quickly falls away. The one who received the seed that fell along the thorns is the one who hears the word, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke it, making it unfruitful. But the one who received the seed that fell on good soil is the one who hears the word and understands it. He produces a crop yielding 160, 30 times what was sown. What is the fruit of what has been sown so far for the past 100 years? How do we sow? When Jesus talks about these four areas, is the one that was sown, somebody teaching somebody about something. What are we teaching our kids? What are we teaching each other? What is the information we are sharing? Chaya Ashur, but I don't believe in Ashur. Let's see this last photo. This great man gave his life for our nation. Mari Sheshoma. As I have mentioned, the house that he was assassinated in is like 3 minutes walk from where I live. This gentleman, this martyr, was the last of the great ones that we had. He was a political leader, he was a religious leader, he was a patriarch, it's a combination. And by doing what he thought was the right thing to do, eventually they got rid of him. We have symbols that they have contributed, they have done so many things for our nation. But the thing is that right now, are we hopeless? Should we wait? Should we give up? I'm not giving up. I know one day we will get our land back. I don't know when. Keeping the identity and learning from our ancestors. If you want to be like them, you should act like them, right? That's my basically the point trying to make. If you want to create something different, then it's not going to be Ashur. I'm sorry, my brothers and sisters. Do you want to be like Ashurbanipal? Do you want to be like Shamira, Queen? Sarcheddon Tiklat Telasser. I want to be. Ahiya Ashur Chaya. Long live Ashur nation. Blessed be Ashur, the work of God's hand. Thank you, and Nabqila will see you next program. Bye-bye.
Sheikhani.